grindhouse sci-fi, horror, and action films from the 1970s, 80s, and 90s. Greetings, fiends. It's your old pal Horror Mike, featuring some really cool grindhouse sci-fi, horror, and action films from the 1970s, 80s, and 90s, along with a couple of really great documentaries. So let's dive right into it. Unholy Rollers. Oh, yes, folks. Unholy Rollers, starring Claudia Jennings, that fine lass who was a superstar in Playboy and Penthouse during the 1970s. She got herself into a few films, folks, and Unholy Rollers is one of those films. Unholy Rollers, 1972 action comedy. Karen Walker, Claudia Jennings, quits her job at the tuna cannery. They always quit their jobs at the tuna cannery, folks, and joins the Avengers, a roller derby team where she gets into trouble with teammates and opponents. Starring the lovely Claudia Jennings, Betty Ann Reese, Roberta Collins, Maxine Gates, Eve Bruce, and more of those Unholy Rollers, directed by Vernon Zimmerman. If you ever saw the film Kansas City Bombers, starring Raquel Welch, which came out just a year before Unholy Rollers, you're going to want to see the Unholy Rollers, okay? We're talking about classic femme fatale roller derby of the 1970s. It's a much lower budget film, obviously, than Kansas City Bombers, but it's got a lot of heart. There's some great action. Of course, there's some really funny scenes in it, some glorious TNA from Claudia Jennings and the crew. So this is a film that I consider a must-see. Now, I've covered it before in the past, but it is worth talking about again. And here is the trailer to Unholy Rollers.
The banked track, the pack, the blockers, the jammer, and the screaming fans who love every minute of it. It's the action-packed sport of roller derby. This is Karen. The fans love her, but to her teammates, she's trouble.
They come to see the likes of me, not your little Beverly or any of the other broads. They come to see a star.
Follow her rise to Queen of the Ring in Unholy Rollers, a whirlwind tale of speed, sex,
Kiss me.
and stardom flying at you with crash-through impact. Featuring Betty Ann Reese.
They think they're gonna make that new kid a star overnight. They're gonna have to deal with me first.
Louis Quinn.
You stop selling tickets, you're dead.
And Playboy Playmate of the Year, Claudia Jennings.
Hey, are you a real doctor?
Unholy Rollers.
Next up, we have Lost Heroes, the untold story of Canadian superheroes. This is one you're going to want to check out, folks. As you can see on the poster art in the center, you've got Captain Canuck. And to the left, the chap in the orange spandex with the skull on his chest, that is none other than Mr. Monster. Now, if you're familiar with 1980s, 1990s comics, you know Mr. Monster because it was a character created originally in the 1940s in Canada and then decades later revived as Mr. Monster by none other than Michael Gilbert. Lost Heroes 2014, a documentary spotlighting Canada's forgotten comic book superheroes and their legendary creators. Directed by Will Pascoe. Paul Soules, Brandy Dolly, and Adrian Kress are in the film. Amok. Just check out that art, folks. That is some sweet art. 1972, Amok, crime, horror, thriller, foreign international. As it says, after her girlfriend, a novelist's secretary, vanishes, Greta poses as her replacement to infiltrate her new boss's world of sex, drugs, and murder. starring Farley Granger, Barbara Boucher. Yes, folks, Barbara Boucher is on the scene and she is looking sweet. Fatal games, fatal games. You know, when you have a javelin throwing serial killer stalking athletes at a school, it's going to be a good film, kind of. Fatal Games, 1984. Promising teenage athletes become victims in a series of brutal executions when a mad javelin thrower goes on a killing spree at an athletic school. Believe it or not, starring Sally Kirkland. And of course, we have a really groovy trailer.
New generation of Olympic athletes. They are trained to reach perfection at the top of their class, and nothing will stop them from reaching their goal. Competing in the next Olympic Games.
What are we gonna do? Get any laid!
No! Keeper keeps saying goodnight to me! Never mind.
As the laughter fades, the terror begins. Someone is stopping the nation's top athletes dead in their tracks. Someone has the killing touch. In sports, winning is everything, but at the Falcon Academy, death is the first prize.
Next up, the second documentary in our lineup, Frazetta, Painting with Fire, from 2003. This acclaimed documentary reveals the resilient man behind legendary fantasy art who inspired generations and carved a niche in art history. Starring Eleanor Frazetta, Frank Frazetta, Heidi Frazetta, Glenn Danzig is in this, folks. Bo Derek is also in this, the bodacious Bo Derek. Oh, yes, directed by Lance Laspina. Next up, we move into the early 90s with Raw Nerve. Nerve-shattering terror stalks an all-star cast. Raw Nerve, 1991. A race car driver who has visions related to a serial killer tries to get a skeptical detective and an ambitious reporter to help him find the murderer. Starring, believe it or not, Glenn Ford, Sandal Bergman, and Randall Tex Cobb. Directed by David A. Pryor. Needless to say, folks, I've got a trailer for Raw Nerve.
Pyramid Distribution presents Glenn Ford, Sandal Bergman, Randall Tex Cobb, Ted Pryor, Tracy Lords, Jan Michael Vincent, in the riveting psychological thriller, Raw Nerve.
Counting the two last night, we've got 6 dead bodies, all young females.
Something strange is happening to Jimmy Clayton. He sees the murders as they happen, but he cannot stop them. Is he dreaming? Or is he remembering?
It was Blake. Blake Garrett did it. I saw him. He's the one you want. Get out!
All are suspect. Few will survive. The shocking conclusion will take you to the very edge of your nerve.
Jimmy!
Raw Nerve.